Okay, so I wanted to start this up again. And the reason is because, well, we were doing an upgrade and I stopped the stream because, frankly, it was taking too long. And instead of streaming forever, waiting for this thing to finish, I figured I would just stop the stream and we'd come back to it. So I'm streaming again for the conclusion of this. So you can see where we left off was, and I was doing terrible things. I was restarting the controller. I was getting impatient. So I let it be, went out and had a walk, got some drink of water, read some emails, had some meetings, and I came back. And what I should have done the first time is be patient. So the upgrade from 2.1 or anything previous, from anything before 2.2, incurs quite a bit of time. And that time will be dependent on a couple of things. It'll depend upon, frankly, um, how how many models you have running. So I have just two models. I have a controller model and I have the Silph web model. So it'll depend upon how many models you have. It'll also depend upon how long you've had those models running. So in my case, these models have been running for almost a year. And so what's happening is when you're going to 2.2, there is a smarter method of logging where each model gets its own series of logs. What that means is it becomes much easier to do model cleanup and to iterate on the model process. So if you create hundreds of models and destroy those hundreds of models and then create hundreds more, the performance impact is greatly improved. Whereas it's not that great in previous versions. So in 2.2, it takes a couple seconds to get that upgrade. So if you notice here, the last status we run before I killed the stream before was that there's an upgrade in progress. It was started at 2048. And I just ran Juju status again, got back, everything was fine, and I see that the upgrade completed on 2113. So it was um, well over 30 minutes to kind of do the upgrade cycle. In all honesty, it's not that bad. The site remained up the entire time. There was no noticeable downtime. And even I could even still use Juju to issue commands, so those commands didn't really do much. So we can see here that the controller model has been upgraded. It's fully upgraded to 2.2 RC1. I'm going to switch to the Silph web model. And if we look here, we'll see a slightly different picture. Now, I haven't looked at this yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to expect. Well, I did expect these to be in error state. This is, again, not a result of the upgrade. This is a result of a problem that's well acknowledged and known. I can just simply resolve those quickly. I know what those are. This model has been running for so long. I mean, very long time, as in like a year now. Very early on, we made a few changes and they haven't quite propagated back out again. So because of that, we get errored states occasionally. These are superfluous. They're not actually really bad or anything like that. It's nothing to worry about. So if we actually look at this, we see that Silph Web is running on version 2.04 still. So we did the 2.0 beta 18 upgrade to 2.0.4. We upgraded the controller then to 2.2 RC1, but this model is still running in 2.0.4. So all of these agents for Juju are talking to a controller that is a much newer version. I want to complete the upgrade cycle as a way to basically say we're done, we did it, we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and run Juju upgrade Juju agent version equals 2.2 RC1. And so this is going to do that same process. It'll be much quicker than the first time we did this, where we had to do an entire kind of database restructuring on how logs are managed and a migration of how the models were handled. Instead, we're just dumping new binaries on disk and rebooting them, and they're coming back up again. Now, as a result, these are going to go back to an error state, MariaDB and HAProxy. That's okay. Again, I understand it's going to do that. I'm totally fine with that. It's going to happen. It's fine. That's not a result of the upgrade. It's simply because Marco did bad things very early on to upset Charms. All right, so started the upgrade. If we run Juju status again, we'll likely see something happening potentially. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be expecting. Well, that was very sudden. It says 2.2 RC1. It's done. Hooray. I don't believe it, though. I think, as we experienced in the past, these things don't always reboot the way we'd expect them to. I'm going to run Juju status a few more times. In fact, we're just going to watch the Juju status. And I'm going to go poke to make sure things are ready. But you know what? Actually, I think it is doing this because you know this config changes are running. I didn't trigger these events. These are typically triggered when you change or modify the configuration of an application. So for example, Juju config for HA proxy. There's a set of configuration parameters that we can tweak and tune, and this is how we make our infrastructure as flexible as it is. There's quite a few handsome little options to tweak. So I didn't change any of those configuration options. We will see config change run when you restart a machine or restart an agent. And I wonder if that's the result of this. So we're going to see two errors. It's okay, again, remember, Marco made mistakes very early on, very early on. Now that we're on 2.2, we can actually get around these. So I'm going to say, yes, that's fine, don't retry that. So Juju's trying desperately to retry these error hooks for me automatically. We just need it to know that that's okay. So probably give me some complaints. There we go. So let's put Juju status again. And so what I've been doing, what I did in the past, in the last live stream, is I went SSH to things and poked vigorously at things. We're going to not do that this time. Instead, I'm going to rely on the Juju help commands. There's a command that we could do to see what's going on. It's show status log. And I want to see the status log for Redis. I want to see include status updates. And minus type agent. No, oh, Juju units. Huh, so it didn't tell me. I was hoping it would say something like, oh, hey, we went and updated the the agent or something else. We do type combine. Apparently that's not a valid type, but it says it's a valid type. Fine. Let's look at the machine then. Screw it. Machine 3. Okay, well, it's not going to tell me what I want. But I'm going to take it for its word. No, I'm not taking it for its word. I don't trust software. We're going to go make sure that the upgrade happens. So we can go poke at any one of these machines. So we'll stick with the Redis machine. Juju SSH to Redis. We look here, we see that the JujuD agent, they both started at 2210. That was 4 minutes ago. That's a good sign. And if we go into this directory, we see everything's pointed at 2.2 RC1. So these are all running 2.2 RC1. The upgrade is basically done. That's not what I wanted. So that's it. We finished our upgrade. It did take a good 30 minutes to get the initial 2.2 RC1 upgrade on the controller. But after that, it was straightforward as running the upgrade Juju command on that. So this is it. Silph Road's architecture is now latest and greatest screaming version of Juju. When the next version of Juju comes out, 2.2 .0, we're going to do a migration upgrade, which will be much quicker, much safer. I won't have to go poking at things. I'm really excited for that. But this gives us a lot of flexibility now to, well, I don't know why this command isn't working, but we can do a lot of really cool things now that we have the latest version of Juju running. So that's it for this. I just wanted to finish up the stream and show that this upgrade did complete. I'll merge these into one nice video and cut it down to make it an hour and a half long to maybe 10, 15 minutes to kind of recap what we did, how we got there. Cool, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it. Have a good night.